Veteran referee Jack Reese calls for the opening bell. Vasily Lomachenko in the black. Gary Russell Jr. in the white with gold trim. Russell Jr. known for maybe being one of the fastest fighters in the sport, while Lomachenko will have a size advantage, and many people believe that, technically speaking, he's just a little bit better, Al.
You know, the difference is hand speed edge probably for Russell. Lomachenko, a better body puncher and a little bigger, as you point out.
One thing Russell has to be careful. He's got fast hands, but he's always throwing up punches at the same speed. It's a pattern I've noticed in his career. He's got to be careful and mix up the speed tonight because Lomachenko can get his timing.
Couple of right hands to the side of the head by Gary Russell. A battle of southpaws.
Lomachenko landed a very nice right to the body. He's going to be throwing that punch a lot.
In April, Golden Boy outbid Top Rank by a mere $2,500 to put on this fight. $1,052,500 to $1,050,000. And because of WBO rule number 13, which reads, if the fight is held in the country of origin, residence, or nationality of one of the contenders, the resident contestant shall receive 40% as opponent, 60% of the total purse. So both of them making career-high purses. Lomachenko making 60%, Russell 40%.
Lomachenko landed a really good right hook about 25 seconds ago or so. It'll be interesting to see as he got Russell now on the back foot as Russell tries to reestablish his jab.
Just past the midpoint of the opening round.
The right hook of Lomachenko, a big weapon already in this fight.
Yeah, he's landed to the body a few seconds ago as well. Al, good point.
Both of them missing with shots.
He's got Russell backing up now after having landed, showing him a little bit of that power.
Lomachenko leaning on the smaller Gary Russell Jr. Quick jab by Lomachenko.
You can already tell. Some thought this might be just a technical boxing match. We can tell already. This is going to be a firefight with skill.
Russell's got to mix it up. He's starting to get countered. It's like I said, he's throwing everything at the same speed. You cannot do that with a guy of the pedigree of Lomachenko. You got to mix in feints in there. You got to mix the speed. Good body shot by Lomachenko.
Beautiful three-punch combination by Lomachenko. Left hand to the body. Left hand upstairs by Russell to counter Lomachenko's body attack. Right hook by Lomachenko. And then the jab through the guard. Russell parrying the jab. Final 10 seconds of the opening round. And again, Lomachenko catches Russell with a right hook to the chin. The bell and round at number 2. Lomachenko, a natural right-hander, but when he first started, his father put him in the left-handed stance, and he's been a southpaw stylist ever since. Meanwhile, for Gary Russell, as he pops the piston-like jab, he has faced 3 southpaws in his 9 most recent fights. Lomachenko faced 2 lefties, both under the World Series of Boxing banner.
Russell getting busier with the jab early in this round, and that's important for him.
That's what you want to see from Russell. He needs to answer back a little bit.
Russell parries the jab, misses with a jab of his own. Leaning in, Lomachenko goes to the body. There's the jab and a left hand to the body by Lomachenko.
A good catch and shoot by Russell there. He came back with his own right hook to the top.
The pressure of Lomachenko in this fight, and he's been continual with it in his first round and a half. How much of an impact will it have as this fight goes on against Russell?
Russell blocks that right hook by Lomachenko. High guard by Russell, doing a good job of blocking those shots by Lomachenko, who continues to be the aggressor.
Lomachenko, almost 400 amateur fights, 396-1 record. Essentially better than most pros are, and that's why he's fighting for a world championship in just his 3rd pro fight.
And against Salido in that second pro fight, official pro fight, he faced everything. Salido was about 20 pounds bigger than him. Salido fought obviously outside the rules, so he faced a lot. that quick start in this round for Gary Russel has evaporated a little bit, and Lomachenko is starting to find his rhythm in this round.
We mentioned the fact that Vasily Lomachenko has also toiled for the World Series of Boxing, which he was paid for, and there's been some dispute, some feeling that he should be 7-1 with the World Series of Boxing fights on his record, but officially for this fight he is 1-1 and looking again to equal that mark.
His comments are that, you know, I fought all amateurs, so that makes me feel they were amateur fights. So that's his viewpoint. Either way, he is far advanced, and that was a beautiful right hook to the body.
And to be fair to him, I heard that World Series of Boxing fighters were told that their fights would not go on their professional records, despite the fact they were remunerated.
But nonetheless, he's still the best fighter Gary Russell has fought in his career.
By far, yeah. And we're seeing evidence of that here.
It begins. Again, Lomachenko, a double Olympic gold medalist, winning in consecutive Olympics in 2008 and 2012. 3 boxers won gold in 3 Olympics. Cuba's Teofilo Stevenson and Felix Savon, and Hungary's Laszlo Papp, the only 3 to win 3 Olympic gold medals. Not bad, Al.
No, that isn't too bad. These 2 fighters threw a lot of punches in round 2. 97 for Russell and 105 for Lomachenko, so they're throwing.
Rapid-fire jabs from Russell, backing up Lomachenko.
First time in the fight, Russell has moved forward to try and back Lomachenko up.
Good body attack by Russell.
First couple of rounds, Russell got off to quick starts, and then it was evened up by Lomachenko. I want to see if he can consistently fight the whole 3 minutes.
It's a really good point.
Having Lomachenko respect him. And he starts to back up again. Let's see what happens.
That's a great point, Paulie.
Among active fighters, China's Zhu Shiming, a flyweight, also won Olympic gold twice. He's 4-0 as a pro, and in this fight now, we thought we'd see the battle of the jabs. There's a couple of jabs from Lomachenko. Quick exchange, and Lomachenko with a stiff jab through the guard of Russell.
He also landed a sharp left uppercut as a counter to Russell's jab.
Well, it's exactly what Paulie said. You know, now we're halfway through the round, and Lomachenko's starting to, again, start to put the pressure on.
It's almost like Lomachenko feels him out the first minute and then decides to get his timing on him. Let's see if Russell can maintain the advantage here this round. So he's starting to land the hook there, Lomachenko, and he's got Russell up against the ropes.
Goes downstairs with a body shot, does Lomachenko.
His dad told him, don't go to the body so much, but that's there, and he wants to throw those punches.
And he's very effective with his body work, as we've seen throughout the amateur career and thus far in his pro career. He hurt Orlando Salido in that 12th and final round.
Yeah, very much so. Almost put him down.
A minute left in the 3rd.
Again, Russell has a nice stiff jab, but he's got to start mixing the speed on it because it's only a matter of time before Lomachenko may start to time it over the top of the left hand. And I think that was a shot over the top right there, followed by a right hook.
You see the
go ahead, Al. No, go ahead,
see the edge 10-2 for Lomachenko, and those are solid body punches. And that's the right move for Lomachenko, correct, Paulie?
Yeah.
Final 30 seconds of the 3rd. Straight left down the middle by Lomachenko. Utilizing his footwork, now backing Russell up. Final 10 seconds of the 3rd round. All right, let's go to Steve. His second consecutive crack at a championship is Vasily Lomachenko, who gets backed up following the piston-like jab of Gary Russell Jr. as we begin round number 4.
Great report by Steve, and it's fascinating to see that and to see the fighters that got there so quickly. And this young man, Lomachenko, he is a solid fighter. Now these rounds, while to my eye, Lomachenko's doing very well, the 3rd round was a very close round. And Russell's going to need, I think, to kind of pick up the pace here.
Seems like he's trying, man.
Yeah.
And lightning quick hand speed of Gary Russell on display. And while aesthetically pleasing, Lomachenko, good job of blocking them. And Lomachenko has the more thudding blows, Paulie.
Yeah.
More power.
Yeah, he seems to land with a bit more oomph, so to speak.
And again, a reminder that each round starts out the same, with Russel throwing more and being a little more effective, and then Lomachenko coming back. So we'll see if that's the pattern.
Of course, the American crowd rallying Gary Russel Jr. with chants of USA.
Russell hasn't lost for 6 years. That was in the 2007 World Championships where he won a bronze medal. So he's not used to losing, as Lomachenko isn't.
Another stiff jab through the guard by Lomachenko as they clinch. At the midway point of round number 4, let's take a look at the show stats for total punches.
Wow. Russell very low with that 12% according to show stats, and Lomachenko obviously more, though throwing, not landing more, though not throwing as many. This is a fight being fought at a very good skill level, which is what we expect from these two men.
At the 2006 National PAL tournament, Gary Russell fractured both of his hands in the first fight, yet showcased his steely resolve and ended up winning all 4 fights and the gold medal. But Al, he's also had hand issues during points of his professional career as he attacks the body of Vasily Lomachenko.
Yeah, hairline fracture in his fight against Gusev a couple years ago, and it's a recurring issue. We asked him at the fight ring, how are your hands? He said, well, they're as good as they can be. You know, and this is a fighter, like many others, who just expects the hand issues. We'll see if it rears its head tonight.
Under 30 seconds left in the 4th round. Final 10 seconds of the 4th frame. Lomachenko going to the body before attempting to go upstairs.
A close round here.
Last couple of rounds, although close, it seems like Russell has been able to find some better moments to dictate a bit more often.
In May, his younger brother, Gary Antoine, won the National Golden Gloves Championship in Las Vegas. The Russell family has produced 4 sons who have won National Golden Gloves titles. Unprecedented, and of course now, Gary Russell, as he ate that overhand left from Lomachenko, willing to win gold in the professional ranks.
That's some heredity there, isn't it?
Well, their father was a professional fighter as well, whose career was ruined due to a hunting accident. By the way, just like George Foreman,
good hook by Lomachenko.
Gary Russell Sr.'s named all his kids Gary as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, great hook by Lomachenko, but a nice counter right hand from Russell.
The difference that Russell's facing here, not just the level of Lomachenko compared to the fighters he's fought, he's facing a fighter who boxes, he moves, he's not just coming straight forward like so many of the people he fought before this.
You know, Russell had some better success in the last couple of rounds, but this round he didn't even get off to a good start. At least even in the rounds that I had him losing, he had gotten off to a pretty decent start. So far, this round has been all Vasily Lomachenko.
Counter right hand and the left hand to the body by Lomachenko.
That body work, I guarantee, is going to pay dividends as we head forward. And a point, Gary Russell has never been 12 rounds, and we know Lomachenko just went 12 against Salido in 12 tough rounds. This has been one of the best rounds of the fight for Lomachenko because he is really ripping to both the body and the head.
And while Russell is popping out that piston-like jab, he gets countered effectively by Lomachenko with the right hand, and there's an overhand left clubbing blow by Lomachenko.
Cleanest offense of the fight being landed by Lomachenko this round. He's really landed some solid shots this round.
And now working the body before going upstairs. And it's all Vasily Lomachenko as Russell shells up before countering with the right hook.
Good patience shown by Russell. He's trying to catch and shoot. This Lomachenko switching the angles quickly.
And Lomachenko, though, when he pulls out, keeping his hands up so he doesn't get hit.
Yep. And he continues to work the body with his left hand, does Vasily Lomachenko.
Most dominant round for either fighter this round so far.
As we head into the final 15 seconds of the 5th. Lomachenko's body work has been exquisite in this frame. Final 10 seconds. And he continues to go upstairs now, working the jab. A great round for Lomachenko.
Cognizant of that, exactly.
Yeah.
Making the adjustment. Russell came out in an aggressive stance here this round. Let's see if he tries to get off to a quick start again.
In the last round, Lomachenko, according to show stats, landed 23 punches to only 3 by Russell.
We are into round number 6. Russell flashing the jab, going to the body with the right hand before Lomachenko pivots and goes and resets back to the center of the ring before being backed up by Russell.
You know, we see a lot of activity from Russell early in the round every time, but it's not as if a lot is landing when he's throwing all these punches.
Yeah, Lomachenko doing a good job of switching range and changing the distance.
And his father told him to do that.
Yeah, a lot of speed on display by Russell, but not effective. As we look at more show stats here, power punches landed round by round, Al.
Yeah, and that giant edge in round 5. And you can make a case for an even bigger edge, honestly, for Lomachenko. He has landed a lot of power punches.
Left hand to the body by Russell. Lomachenko ducks underneath the right hook.
Russell doing a good job of forcing the pace here this round. Even if he's not landing anything so cleanly, it's keeping Lomachenko on the back foot.
It's a left hand to the body again by Lomachenko. Russell working the body, but again, not a lot behind those punches.
And he's just not landing cleanly. Now, in this round, Lomachenko hasn't landed much cleanly, but...
Oh, there's a stiff jab.
Stop. Break. Separate.
Oh, we talked about the big ring in the first fight and how Duggan Alexander. Lomachenko also a fan of using the ring when he needs to.
Final 60 seconds of the 6th round. Russell coming in as they clinch. The bigger Lomachenko pushing him off.
Here's the irony. Lomachenko with many fewer professional fights, and yet Russell looks like the amateur style and Lomachenko looks like a pro, correct, Paulie?
And a lot of times in spots. It's Lomachenko stepping in harder with his shots while Russell trying to throw the little combinations.
Come on, fight out of it. There you go.
Veteran referee Jack Reese letting them ply their trade. Under 30 seconds left in the 6th. Lomachenko utilizing his footwork. There's a stiff counter left hand to the body by Lomachenko. Russell avoids that overhand left. Russell works the body. Changing levels. Final 5 seconds. We're halfway through this championship bout. The leading candidate for Fight of the Year, and now we are seeing potential history being equaled as Vasily Lomachenko attempts to win a championship in just his 3rd professional bout with an asterisk, while the undefeated Gary Russell Jr. wants to prove that his steady and, well, rather slow rise up the pro ranks would benefit him as he wants to win that vacant crown.
Russell has been so much more active in the last couple rounds, throwing a lot of punches. Whether they're all getting in remains to be seen, but he's doing some good work.
Yeah, the right hook connected by Lomachenko.
And I think keeping Lomachenko on the back foot, he's less dangerous.
Paulie, why do you think Lomachenko stopped attacking?
Well, I think it's because Russell's doing a good job of getting off first. So I think Lomachenko's thinking, he's got Lomachenko thinking a bit too much on defense.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get a chance to get off the punches he wants to.
All right, Steve Farhood, let's take a look at how you have unofficially scored this fight at the midpoint.
Well, Mo, it's hard to find rounds for Russell. When he's been the aggressor, he has not been the effective aggressor. Lomachenko, ironically, the ultimate amateur, and he's doing it with body punching, which doesn't even count in the amateur game. It's all Lomachenko.
Step out, box.
And again, when Russell doesn't get off first, it allows Lomachenko to get off be on the front foot and step on the gas a little bit. A lot of times Russell's offense may not have a lot on it, but the fact that he can keep Lomachenko busy, it keeps Lomachenko from getting off those power shots.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Under 90 seconds left in the 7th round.
See, now Russell not getting off, kind of backing himself up, and it's Lomachenko landed a good right hook.
Yeah, good right hook upstairs by Lomachenko.
And the jab of Lomachenko hasn't been quite as effective in the last couple of rounds as it was earlier.
Under a minute remaining in the 7th. And see again, a lot of punches being thrown by Russell, but none of them connecting. Meanwhile, it's Lomachenko who attacks the body furiously.
That would be effective if Lomachenko wasn't coming back to land his own hard shots back.
Yeah, very good.
And there's a counter left hand right over the top of the jab, as I said before. Russell's got to change the speed on that jab.
Both of them attacking the body. Now Lomachenko going upstairs with that left uppercut. Action picking up here now, under 30 seconds left.
Those are murderous body punches by Lomachenko.
And I love the way Lomachenko changes the angle inside.
He likes to throw that lead uppercut.
He gets inside, he steps around, he gets underneath the arms. He's never standing still, even if he's working in the pocket.
Final 10 seconds of the 7th round between Vasily Lomachenko and Gary Russell Jr. Round 8 underway. Earlier we saw Leo Santa Cruz in attendance. Gary Russell Jr. holds an amateur win over the aforementioned Leo Santa Cruz, as these two highly touted amateurs now meeting in the pro ranks.
I mentioned earlier that Russell has never gone 12 rounds. And we're heading into those rounds where we'll see if that body work by Lomachenko starts to affect him.
Both of them, the stiff jab there from Lomachenko. Both of them scheduled to compete at the 2008 U.S. Olympics. Of course, Lomachenko winning the first of his 2 Olympic gold medals. Russell, as we mentioned, was a medal favorite, unable to make weight. Did not compete. But there have been some matchups over the years between fighters who competed in the same Olympics. Chris Bird, David Tua in the 92 Olympics. Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield in the 84 Olympics. And Miguel Cotto and Mohamed Abdullayev, who both competed in the 2000 Olympics. In fact, Abdullayev beat Cotto in the Olympics, lost to him as a pro.
And of course, these two men were in different weight classes. Right. And Gary Russell said, you know, I didn't even know who Lomachenko was until 2 months ago. Hard to believe he didn't know who he was at the 2008 Olympics.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe that either. And he knows him now, that's for sure.
And we talk about, you know, the scoring criteria, clean, effective punching. Russell throwing a lot of punches, Paulie, but thus far connecting on less than 10%.
Yeah, and clearly the harder punches being landed by Lomachenko. The thing is, even if he's not throwing as hard, whenever he does get off first, it at least allows him to keep Lomachenko from working. But now, as he's getting more tired, and maybe like Al said, the body punching will take effect late in the fight, Russell's having a harder time getting off first, and Lomachenko's able to back him up and really keep him standing still enough to land some really powerful shots at times.
Body work there by Russell. Lomachenko walking him down. Russell pivots away back to the center of the ring.
That was a nice move by Russell. He changed the look, and he got off the ropes. But he's got to be more consistent.
Yeah, right hook by Lomachenko.
That's an interesting round because Russell's thrown over 30 more punches than Lomachenko, and we'll see if that's enough to win him the round. I don't know. Russell landing a couple of good shots.
They just don't land as cleanly as Lomachenko does. I haven't seen Lomachenko's head really snap back all fight where I say, wow, good shot by Russell, you know?
We are through 8 rounds at the StubHub Center. Round 9 underway. Vasily Lomachenko, a native of the Ukraine, but trains at CMC Boxing Gym in Marina del Rey, California. Of course, the most famous Ukrainian boxers, the Klitschko brothers. Meanwhile, there are currently 13 American champions, if you count heavyweight title holder Berman Stiverne, who was living in Las Vegas and in the process of becoming a naturalized U.S. citizen. Paulie, what does Gary Russell Jr. need to do in these last few rounds if he wants to become number 14?
He's going to have to, again, make a better attempt at getting off first. And here he starts a lot of these rounds good. You know, he starts a lot of these rounds backing up Lomachenko. And again, even if it's not landing greatly, it's at least allowing him to not let Lomachenko get his hands off. But again, he loses the consistency as the round progresses.
Our unofficial score at ringside is Mr. Boxopedia Steve Farhood, and through 8 rounds, he has Lomachenko ahead by 4 points.
That makes sense, and certainly Lomachenko has imposed his will in more rounds than Russell, it would seem to us in any case.
Counter right hook by Lomachenko.
I wonder if Lomachenko wants Russell at the first part of the round to throw all those punches, Paulie, and then absolutely counts on coming back.
It's almost like he's letting himself get the timing down on the speed of Russell's shots. And then he can start timing the offense.
And you see right there, he's starting to tackle him, where invariably then he goes to the body and starts landing power punches.
Left hand to the body by Lomachenko.
And he's made the adjustment to Russell's catch and shoot with the right hook as he now gets underneath it when he throws that body shot.
Again, a lot of those punches being caught by Lomachenko's gloves or arms by Gary Russell Jr. Final minute of the 9th.
I think one of the things that's giving Russell problems is the movement of Lomachenko. He's not seen this from the fighters he's faced as a pro, not even anything close.
Yeah, Lomachenko's ability to change range, and he has the ring where he is able to use that space in there, and it's bothered Russell a lot.
Oh, that was a trip by Lomachenko, ruled not a knockdown by referee Jack Reese.
He was quick.
So.
Yeah, he was quick to work Jack Reese to make sure that wasn't called a knockdown. We've seen Paulie do that occasionally.
Doesn't always work, though.
No, it doesn't.
Final 10 seconds of the 9th. Good exchange to end the round. Welterweight from Japan getting set to meet Robert Guerrero. That's in our main event right now. We begin round 10 of this 12-round championship affair for the vacant WBO featherweight belt.
Now, informationally, Russell has thrown an average of almost 20 punches more per round. But the question is, has he landed effectively enough to win some of those rounds, or how many?
There he lands a shot to the body.
This is what Russell needs to do. You see, when he backs up Lomachenko like this, it keeps Lomachenko off balance enough to not be able to get off the kind of offense he wants to get off.
That was a left by Lomachenko. His left hand has not been as effective in the last 3 or 4 rounds as it was earlier.
Lomachenko walking Russell down. Russell coming forward, but again, throwing punches. And while they manage to land, they're not exactly hurting Lomachenko.
They're not. A good smother by Russell. It seems like a lot of times when he is missing, you know, he's getting tired. He backs himself up the ropes. A good smother by Russell there, getting that rest he needs and keeping Lomachenko from getting off.
Yeah, that's a good tactic for him at this point in the fight.
Oh, again, a counter right hook upstairs by Lomachenko that was effective, and some good body work by the Ukrainian fighter. And there's Russell showing off his speed and going upstairs.
That right hook, though, lands, and there's some swelling around the left eye of Russell, courtesy of those hooks.
Stiff jab from Lomachenko.
It seems like a lot of times Russell's shots are just arm punches.
Another body shot by Lomachenko.
Good body shots by Vasily Lomachenko there.
Under a minute left in the round.
I think he's starting to slow Russell down a bit with the body punches and some of that work on the inside.
You know, there's been moments where Russell seems to slow down, and then next round he comes right back. So it's hard to tell at this point in the fight. But Vasily Lomachenko's having himself a really good round.
Again, the counter right hook by Lomachenko backs Russell up.
And again, it's been a round where Russell seemed to have started it pretty well, and Lomachenko's gotten the timing down as we went along. Another
right hook to the chin by Lomachenko.
Russell's got to watch himself. He's getting to the point where he's starting to look a little bit more fatigued.
Oh,
and those shots are going to start
was
hurting him.
a massive right hand by Lomachenko as we are headed to the championship rounds. Championship rounds, the vacant WBO featherweight title up for grabs. Neither of these two amateur standouts have been knocked down in their respective professional careers.
Lomachenko came into this fight a slight favorite at about 7-5, and he's living up to that so far.
Double jab by Lomachenko.
Now, in many of these rounds, as I pointed out, Russell's been active. I can't imagine too many rounds are being scored for Russell, but we don't know.
You know, Russell trying to be aggressive here, but he's not getting off as many shots. And if he doesn't, Lomachenko does get off. And the problem is when Lomachenko gets off first, he's more accurate than Russell. He lands.
Right.
There's Russell crowding Lomachenko. Lomachenko able to move out of the way before they clinch. Jack Reese allowing them to fight out of the clinch.
To show you what a big jump up it's been, the last opponent that Russell fought, Miguel Tamayo, was 15-7-2, had lost 3 of his last fights before the fight and had been knocked down 5 times. This is a whole different kettle of fish.
And he took the fight on 3 days' notice. I worked that fight.
Oh, very good point. Okay.
Oh, beautiful. Left hand to the body, followed by the left uppercut on the inside by Lomachenko. There's that left uppercut again.
Again, it's like we said earlier, Al, the body work may have slowed Russell down, and we're at that point in the fight now where the body work starts to pay those dividends.
Efficient jab by Lomachenko, strafing the body now of Russell with those shots.
Russell's body language clearly a bit more uncomfortable these last couple of rounds.
Oh, and a right hook connects by Lomachenko. A good round here in round number 11. And again, Russell with the counter, but Lomachenko's defense, Paulie, the footwork, the distance, the range, able to avoid the brunt of the attack.
And these body shots are starting to land clean now, guys. Before they were landing on the arms, sometimes it would land clean, but they are starting to land underneath the arms now because Russell's offense is slowing down, so Lomachenko can get underneath while Russell's throwing.
And Russell in a place, a territory in round 11 he's never been before.
Yeah, Russell hitting nothing but air with these shots, while Lomachenko efficient, economical, but landing effectively.
And trust me, when you're tired, the worst thing you want to do is miss, because you will pick your spots to get off your punches and you want them to count. You hope they count because you're fatigued. So when you miss, it's all the worst feeling.
Final 10 seconds of the 11th round. Exchange on the inside. We're going to the 12th and final round of this championship affair. What they have seen here tonight, again, 2 of the best amateur fighters of the previous decade. Many herald Vasily Lomachenko as maybe the best amateur fighter ever, and right now perhaps on the verge of equaling the mark of the fastest path to a championship, Al.
And we heard frustration in the corner of Gary Russell from his father, and a very opposite tenor in the other corner for Vasily Lomachenko and his dad.
Lomachenko getting on the inside, firing off the combination.
Give Russell credit, though. He's still trying, man.
Yes, he is.
Outgunned, but he's still trying. He's still coming forward, trying to make this fight here in the last round.
And I'm sure he understands that he is likely so far behind in this fight that he would need something dramatic, knockdowns or a knockout to win.
He's a little bit low. You okay?
Jack Reese.
Need time or you okay? All right? Fox, keep him up.
Warning Russell to keep the shots above the belt line. It has been a clean fight, but now things may be falling apart mentally for Gary Russell Jr.
Two really low blows there.
The frustration probably kicking in too.
Yeah. And also, he just might be tired. He can't get the punches up.
Good point.
Lactic acid building up as Russell goes to the body, countered by Lomachenko, leaning in, and Russell firing off that left hand to the liver. Now Russell with a right, countered with an effective right hook by Lomachenko upstairs.
And in his last fight against Salido, a fight in which he had suffered in many rounds, Lomachenko was able to close the show very strongly. So he's used to this as a pro already from his other fight.
Lomachenko's manager quipped the only thing they learned in the Salido fight was how to throw low blows.
Yeah, exactly.
Under a minute now left in the fight.
And Lomachenko closing quickly in this fight.
Russell walked into a short shot there.
And again, Russell leans in and gets tagged by Vasily Lomachenko.
You know, we've praised Lomachenko a lot, and he's probably winning the fight, but, you know, we can't go easy on Russell either. He's shown some real guts, some character,
heart,
and displayed skill throughout. Just because Lomachenko might be a better fighter doesn't make Russell a bad fighter.
No. Came in undefeated in 24 fights. Say what you will about his level of opponents. Was an amateur champion at 16, but now Lomachenko in the final 15 seconds. Unloading on Russell. Russell misses with the right hook. But they're both swinging. It's Lomachenko imposing his will and skill on Gary Russell Jr. Terrific performance for Lomachenko.
World, Vasily Lomachenko.
I don't know if I agree with the majority decision, but Vasily Lomachenko has done it. He has equaled the mark of Thailand's Sansek Muangsarin, who won